A shocking new policy proposal in 2026 could change everything for naturalized American citizens. Over 200 cases are already under review, and thousands more could be at risk. If you're a naturalized U.S. citizen or planning to become one, this video could be the most important thing you watch this year. Stay until the end. Welcome back to Immigration Fresh Updates, where we bring you the truth behind the headlines that affect your immigration journey. Today, we're diving deep into a controversial policy being discussed in 2026 that could potentially denaturalize American citizens. Yes, strip away citizenship that was legally granted. We'll explain what this policy is, who's at risk, why it's happening now, and most importantly, what you can do to protect yourself and your family. This isn't about creating fear, it's about awareness and preparation. Whether you're already a U.S. citizen, a green card holder, or dreaming of American citizenship, you need to understand what's coming. Let's break it down together. Let's start by understanding something crucial. Denaturalization, the legal process of revoking citizenship, isn't a new invention. It's existed in U.S. immigration law for decades. What's changing in 2026 is the intensity and focus of enforcement. Historically, denaturalization was reserved for the most serious cases: Nazi war criminals hiding in America, terrorists, or individuals who committed major fraud during their citizenship process. Between 1990 and 2017, the U.S. government denaturalized fewer than 350 people total. That's extremely rare. But starting around 2018, a special task force was created specifically to hunt for citizenship fraud cases. The Department of Justice and USCIS began reviewing hundreds of thousands of old immigration files, looking for inconsistencies, unreported criminal records, or false information given during the naturalization process. By 2020, the number of denaturalization cases had tripled. Now in 2026, this enforcement mechanism is being turbocharged. The proposed policy would expand investigative resources, streamline the legal process for revocation, and potentially apply stricter scrutiny to naturalized citizens from certain countries facing diplomatic tensions with the United States. Here's what you need to know. If you obtained your citizenship legally, told the truth on every form, and have lived as a law-abiding resident, your risk is incredibly low. The government must prove intentional fraud or concealment in court. You have legal rights and due process protections. This historical context matters because it shows us that while the policy sounds terrifying, the actual number of people affected remains relatively small, but awareness is your first line of defense. Let's talk about who is genuinely at risk under this 2026 policy, because understanding this will give you peace of mind or help you take action if needed. The government is specifically targeting individuals who committed what they call material misrepresentation during their immigration process. This includes lying about criminal history, hiding previous deportations, using fake documents, marriage fraud, or concealing involvement in activities that would have made them ineligible for citizenship. Here's a real scenario. Imagine someone applied for asylum claiming persecution, but investigators later discovered they were actually living comfortably in their home country during the time they claimed to be fleeing. That's the kind of case being prioritized. Another category involves individuals with unreported criminal convictions, especially those related to terrorism, espionage, or serious violent crimes that were deliberately hidden from USCIS during the naturalization interview. The 200 cases currently under review reportedly involve suspected identity fraud, where fingerprint databases revealed individuals used multiple identities across different immigration applications. Now here's the reassuring part. If you made an honest mistake on your application, maybe you forgot to list a traffic ticket from 15 years ago, or you were confused about a date, that is not grounds for denaturalization. The government must prove you intentionally deceived them and that the deception was significant enough to have affected the approval decision. Most naturalized citizens have absolutely nothing to worry about. This policy is designed to catch serious criminals and fraudsters, not honest immigrants who made minor errors. But documentation and honesty remain your strongest protection. Understanding the political climate helps explain why denaturalization enforcement is intensifying right now. Immigration has become one of the most emotionally charged political issues in America, and citizenship integrity is at the center of that debate. In 2026, we're seeing heightened concerns about national security, border control, and immigration system integrity. Both political parties face pressure to demonstrate they're tough on immigration fraud, though they differ dramatically on broader immigration reform. There's also a technological factor. Advances in biometric databases, artificial intelligence document analysis, and international information sharing agreements have made it much easier to detect inconsistencies in old immigration files. Cases that would have been impossible to investigate 20 years ago are now being uncovered through automated systems. Additionally, diplomatic tensions with certain countries have led to increased scrutiny of naturalized citizens from those regions. This doesn't mean blanket targeting based on national origin. That would be unconstitutional, but it does mean enhanced vetting and background checks. The political messaging around this policy emphasizes protecting the integrity of American citizenship and ensuring the system isn't abused. Supporters argue that citizenship is a privilege that should never be obtained through fraud. Critics worry about potential overreach, racial profiling, and the chilling effect on immigrant communities. Here's the balanced truth. Every country has the right to revoke citizenship obtained fraudulently. What matters is how that power is exercised, with due process, fairness, and proportionality. As a naturalized citizen or future applicant, your job is to stay informed and ensure your documentation is completely truthful. The political winds will shift, but your honesty and documentation will always protect you. Let's demystify exactly how denaturalization works, because understanding the process is empowering and often reveals how protected you actually are. First, the government cannot simply revoke your citizenship without going through federal court. This isn't an administrative process. It's a full legal proceeding where you have the right to an attorney, the right to present evidence, and the right to appeal. The process typically begins with an investigation. If USCIS suspects fraud, they'll review your entire immigration file, conduct interviews, and gather evidence. If they believe they have a case, the Department of Justice must file a civil lawsuit against you in federal district court. You'll receive formal notice and have the opportunity to defend yourself. The burden of proof is on the government. They must prove by clear and convincing evidence that you illegally procured your citizenship. That's a high legal standard, much higher than typical civil cases. Even if the government wins at the district court level, you can appeal to the Circuit Court of Appeals and potentially to the Supreme Court. Some denaturalization cases have taken 5 to 7 years to fully resolve. Here's what's crucial. You cannot be deported immediately. Even if your citizenship is eventually revoked, you would typically revert to your previous immigration status, often lawful permanent resident, unless that status was also obtained fraudulently. The system has checks and balances. It's designed to prevent wrongful denaturalization. Yes, the process is stressful and expensive, but if you obtained citizenship honestly, the legal framework strongly favors protecting your status. Justice requires due process, and you have that constitutional protection. Whether you're already a U.S. citizen or on the path to citizenship, there are practical steps you can take right now to protect yourself under this 2026 policy climate. First, organize your immigration documentation. Keep copies of every form you've ever submitted, your green card application, naturalization application, supporting documents, everything. If you're ever questioned, having a complete paper trail proves your honesty. Second, review your old applications carefully. Pull out your N-400 citizenship application and reread every answer you gave. If you discover you made an honest mistake, maybe you forgot to list a speeding ticket or got a date wrong, consult with an immigration attorney immediately. In some cases, you can file a correction or explanation. Proactive disclosure is far better than having investigators discover inconsistencies. Third, be extremely careful about international travel and political activities. If you're a naturalized citizen from a country currently facing diplomatic tensions with the U.S., understand that your activities may receive additional scrutiny. This doesn't mean living in fear. It means being mindful. Fourth, if you receive any notice from USCIS or the Department of Justice questioning your citizenship, do not respond without an attorney. Even if the letter seems routine, anything you say can be used in denaturalization proceedings. Immigration lawyers who specialize in denaturalization defense can protect your rights. Fifth, stay informed. Policies change, court decisions set new precedents, and enforcement priorities shift. Following channels like Immigration Fresh Updates keeps you ahead of the curve. Protection isn't about paranoia, it's about preparation, and honest immigrants have every reason to feel confident in their status. Beyond the 200 specific cases currently under review, this 2026 denaturalization policy is creating ripples throughout the entire immigrant community, and we need to talk about that human impact. Many naturalized citizens are feeling anxious, even those who have nothing to hide. The psychological effect of knowing your citizenship could theoretically be questioned creates a sense of permanent impermanence, a feeling that you're never quite fully American, that your status is somehow less secure than native-born citizens. This fear has real consequences. Some naturalized citizens are avoiding political activism or community organizing because they worry about drawing attention. Others are delaying international travel or avoiding returning to their countries of origin, even for family emergencies. Perhaps most concerning is the effect on future immigrants. When people see citizenship as something that can be taken away years or even decades after it was granted, it creates hesitation. Some green card holders are choosing not to apply for naturalization, preferring to maintain permanent resident status rather than risk future scrutiny. There's also a chilling effect on the naturalization process itself. Applicants are becoming so fearful of making any mistake that they're over-disclosing minor issues, hiring expensive attorneys for straightforward cases, and experiencing severe anxiety during the process. Here's what the immigrant community needs to remember. Fear is often worse than reality. The vast majority of naturalized citizens will never face denaturalization proceedings. Building community, sharing accurate information, and supporting each other through legal resources is how we maintain dignity and hope. Your citizenship is not fragile if it was earned honestly. Stand proud in your American identity. So here we are at number 1. The most important thing you need to understand about this 2026 policy. It is not the end of the American dream, and it does not define the future of immigration in the United States. First, let's acknowledge that increased denaturalization enforcement is likely temporary. Immigration policies swing like a pendulum based on political leadership, court decisions, and public opinion. What seems aggressive today may be reformed tomorrow. Courts are already pushing back on some denaturalization cases, setting precedents that protect citizen rights. Second, the immigration advocacy community is mobilizing. Organizations like the ACLU, the American Immigration Lawyers Association, and immigrant rights groups are monitoring every case, providing legal defense, and challenging government overreach. You are not alone in this fight. Third, remember that American citizenship, once properly obtained, is one of the most secure legal statuses in the world. The constitutional protections afforded to U.S. citizens are extraordinary. The government faces enormous legal hurdles to denaturalize anyone, and wrongful denaturalization cases often result in reinstatement and sometimes compensation. For those not yet citizens, don't let fear stop your journey. Apply for citizenship when you're eligible. Be honest. Be thorough, keep documentation, and move forward with confidence. For current citizens, live your life fully, contribute to your community, exercise your rights, vote, speak, build. Your citizenship is real, it is valid, and it is protected by law. The American story has always been one of immigrants becoming Americans. One policy cannot erase that truth. Your future is bright. We want to hear from you. Comment below and let us know. Where are you watching from today? Are you a U.S. citizen, green card holder, or dreaming of coming to America? If this video helped you understand what's really happening with the 2026 denaturalization policy, please hit that like button and subscribe to Immigration Fresh Updates. We're here every week bringing you honest, clear, and hopeful immigration information you can actually use. Share this video with anyone in your community who might be worried. Knowledge is power, and together we're stronger. Now tell us, Knowing everything we've discussed today, how do you feel about your immigration journey? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Until next time, stay informed, stay hopeful, and keep moving forward.